All right, this is EOC review number 4. I am going to quickly go over the cards. Okay. This is card number 1, where we talked about linear functions and the different slopes. Please make sure you read over your cards. Okay. I'm going backwards. Card number 2 is on linear functions again. This is standard form, y and slope intercept form. Okay. Where we talked about the slope and the y-intercept, the different words for domain, the different words for range. Card number 3 is where we're finding the slope, rise over run. This other formula for slope, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is also the same formula you use for finding average rate of change. Card number 4, still on linear functions. This is how to write a linear equation. You always find your slope first, then you find b by using y equals mx plus b. After you find your m and your b, you substitute it into the slope intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Card number 5, we talked about arithmetic sequences. An arithmetic sequence is a linear function. This is where you add or subtract to get to the next number. Linear functions or linear patterns are where you add or subtract to get to the next number. Okay? That next number, the number you add or subtract to get to the next number, is called the slope or the common difference. Here I know my common difference is 5 because I'm adding 5 to get to the next number. Here I know my common difference is 2 because I'm adding 2 to get to the next number. My common difference here is -8 because I'm subtracting 8 to get to the next number. The formula for arithmetic sequence or an arithmetic sequence is here, a sub n, where n is the number that you're looking for. A sub 1 is the first number in the list. Yes. How many of those are A sub 1 is the first number that's in the list. N again is the number that you're looking for. -1 is part of the formula, and D is your common difference. Okay. All right. All you're doing, if they give you a sequence, automatically just listen. Just listen. You'll know when I get to the last card. Doesn't that make sense? All right. The first number in the list is automatically going to be that first number that they give you, unless they tell you that's a sub 1. Automatically, always assume that's the first number, not the 0 number. If they're asking you to write an equation, please don't use this as the starting amount unless they tell you it's the starting amount. Always assume this is the first number and not the starting number. Any questions? Unless they tell you. All right. Your next card. Card number 6. Card number 6 is talking about the difference between what a recursive formula is and what an explicit formula. Recursive formula are formulas where you have to use the previous number to get the next number. Explicit formula is when I can substitute. If I want to find the 5th number, I can substitute 5 to get the 5th number. If I want to find the 100th number, I can substitute 100 to get the 100th number. So equations that look like this, okay, those are explicit. Next now equations that look like this are recursive because I have to do this. If I'm trying to find the 5th number, I got to do this 5 times to get to the 5th number. That's recursive. Questions? Card number 7. These are your different inequalities. Don't forget that 2 squiggly lines is about, if you ever see that. Similar is proportionate, or similar is proportionate. Card number 8. Okay, if they ask you for the different parts of a expression, the number that's attached to the variable, the number in front of the variable, is called the coefficient. The number, the letter or a symbol that represents a number is a variable. And a number that has no variable attached to it is a constant. Please go over your note cards. We wrote it for a reason. The steps for solving inequalities is the very same as solving for an equation. The only thing that's different is that if you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, you have to flip that inequality, okay? But these are the steps for solving an equation, okay? Distributive property, combine like terms, then move the variables to the same side, isolate the variable. Please don't forget this part. The opposite of squaring a number is square root. The opposite of cubing a number is cube root. Inequalities, okay? Still on the same. This is card number 10. We got literal equations. You all have gotten a lot better with literal equations. Praise the Lord. With literal equations, you have multiple variables in one equation. You're isolating. It'll tell you solve for a variable. That means you're just getting that variable by yourself. You're not going to get a single answer as your answer. You're going to get an expression. So in this, I notice I have tons of variables. If I'm solving for n, just get n by itself by using inverse operations. Any questions? Okay. 11. Solving inequalities. I just went over that. The only thing different, you solve it the regular way. If you multiply or divide both sides by a negative number, not add or subtract, doesn't matter if you subtract both sides, only multiply both sides by a negative or divide both sides for a negative, is that inequality going to flip? Any questions, comments, or concerns? Graphing. You all have done way better with graphing. When you graph an equation, it has to be written in y equals mx plus b form. If it's not, you got to move things around so that you isolate y and it's written in that form. You can't graph it if y is not isolated. Then you label your m and your b. You graph b on the y-axis, and you use your slope to put points on the line. Same with graphing inequalities. You follow that same procedure. The only thing that's different, that is if it's a less than symbol instead of an equal sign, dash line because you don't see an equal sign. Shade under the line. If it's less than equal to, it's a solid line because of that equal to. Shade under the line. Greater than, there's no equal there, dash line, shade above. If it's greater than or equal to, solid line, shade above. Any questions? Now we're on review number 3. Okay, 14th card. A system is more than one linear equation. A system is more than one linear equation. All right. To find the solution to a system means that you're going to see what points they share. Okay. If they cross in one location, they share one point. That means they have one solution. If they don't cross at all, no solution. So all parallel lines have no solution. And if they happen to graph right on top of each other, it's infinitely many solutions. Questions? 15, the graphing method. Graph them. That means in order to graph them, y'all, they have to be in slope-intercept form. You write them in slope-intercept form and then put them in the calculator and graph. Do not forget that when you type equations in the calculator, you go to y equals, you type in the equation. Let's do a simple one. 2x minus 5. Type that in. Then type in the other equation. Let's do 1/2. 1 divided. Let's do negative. Let's do negative. Let's write this. Negative 1/2 x. Let's do plus 2. Let's do that one. Okay? So now, let's graph it. Anybody still typing? I can wait if you're still typing. Okay, so when you graph it, this is where they cross. So to find that point in which they cross, you press second trace, and you're looking for where it intersects. Which numbers intersect? 5. So press 5. Now you're going to press enter on this first equation. You see the first equation at the top? Press enter here. Press enter on the second equation. And you're going to press enter one more time just to tell the calculator to do what it's supposed to do. And this point at the bottom, this is your answer. This is where they intersect at 2.8, comma, 0.6. Any questions about finding the point where they cross? All right, good. Card 16. All right, the elimination method, 16. Substitution method is where you're using substitution. I want to use the word inside the definition. So using algebra to find the solution where the lines cross. Any questions about the substitution method? We just did that one, okay? Elimination method. Any questions about the elimination method? Okay, matrix. If you have, this is one we did it towards the beginning of the year. If you forget how to use elimination or substitution and it's calculator active, then you can do the matrix method. We did this towards the beginning, second quarter. So I'm going to clear my calculator and show you once more. Second plus 712. Please follow along. All right, so now we're going to write this in a list. A matrix is just a list of numbers, okay? That's all it means. So we're going to rewrite just the numbers without the X and the Y. But remember, the X's have to be lined up, the Y's have to be lined up, and the constants have to be lined up. So this is how you write the matrix. Any questions on how I got these numbers? So now let's go to the calculator. Does anybody remember what two buttons we pressed to get to matrix? Second, and then right here where it says matrix. Please press that. I'm going to make sure that we all have that. Come on. You got it? Good job. Thank you. Second matrix. Second matrix. You got it? Good. Good. Very good. Very good. Okay. So now we're going to stroll over to edit because we're going to create a matrix. Slide all the way over to edit and press enter. The matrix that we're going to create has 2 columns. So press 2, enter. I'm sorry, 2 rows. Rows go first. 2 rows and 3 columns. 3, enter. And if you forget, when you type it in, you're going to know that you got it wrong because it's going to give you the wrong order that the numbers are in. So now let's type in one number at a time. -4, -4, enter. And it's going to go to the next number. -2, enter. Next number. -12, enter. Next number. 4, enter. Next number. 8, enter. Next number. -24, enter. Questions about how to enter that in? So now, want to go, after we press enter, go to the main screen. So press second mode. Now we're going back to matrix and tell the calculator to perform calculations to solve that matrix. So we press second matrix. Make sure your screen looks like my screen. Second matrix. Want the calculator to do the work? So we are going to go over to math. Slide over 1 to math. Slide over 1 to math. Does anybody remember what we're looking for after we get RREF? Right here. Now we need to tell the calculator to perform calculations on the matrix that we just made. So press second matrix. And this is the one that we made. So press enter. And enter once more. That's our answer. Our answer is always going to be, the X value is going to be these 2 last numbers here. The top is X, the bottom is Y. So you see that? X is on the top, all the way on the end, 6. Y is on the bottom, all the way on the end, -6. That's the solution. So there's no math required there. You just have to type it in right. Okay? You don't have to. If you don't remember it, then you can't use it. But if it's calculator active and it's written in that form, use it. Save yourself some time, okay? All right. Any questions about that? All right, so now we're on card number 19. Card number 19, EOC Review 4. This is on stats. Okay. This is statistics. It's a lot that goes into statistics, okay? That's why you see a lot of those numbers, but we're going to make this work pretty fast. The first thing under statistics that we did this year was on scatter plots. Okay, so that's the first topic, scatter plots. Remember that scatter plot is where you compare two quantities together. Compare two quantities. Well, we're comparing X as a quantity. Quantity means it's represented by a number. And we're comparing Y. We're comparing two quantities together. It could be like age and height. Age is represented by a number. Height is represented by a number. If your points in the scatter plot, for the most part, are going up, it has some type of linear association. This is a linear association because it is a positive correlation. The points are going up. This is a positive correlation. Because it's a positive correlation, it is also a linear association. Okay. Any questions? Pause for the cause. All right, I'm going to keep going because of time. Okay, look. Again, X, Y, two quantities. You can have year on the bottom. Year is represented by a number. Okay, and you can have the amount, salary amounts. They're both quantities because they're both represented by a number. So let's suppose over the year, I wouldn't, but it decreases. Whatever reason, Lord. Come homeless, I guess. I don't know what's going on. This is a negative correlation because as X is increasing, Y is decreasing. X always increases. Okay, so when you read, expect for it to say that X increases. Okay, but if Y is decreasing, that's what's making it a negative correlation. Because it has a correlation to it, it is also a linear association. It's also a linear association. The third type of scatter plot, again, X is a quantity, Y is a quantity. Let's say that a person's weight in their grade in math class, they don't have nothing to do with each other. So this is a no correlation. Those two quantities don't have anything to do with each other. This then is the only one that's going to be a non-linear association. They don't have nothing to do with each other. That's a non-linear association. Don't have anything to do with each other. Pause for the cause. All right, here we go. 20, EOC Review 4. This is card 20. Here we're talking about line of best fit. Remember, there are other words for line of best fit. Sometimes we can call it linear model. You might see that. That means the same thing. Best fit line. And it has so many names. The line of best fit or the linear model, put a star, is going to be the line that best describes the scatter plot. Oops, Miss Reyes. What I was saying. The line that best describes the scatter plot. It should be going, it's got to be going in the same direction as the points. Same direction as the points. And the line should be in the center of most of the points, I should say. Most of the points should be close to that line. Should be on or close to that line. Okay. Most of the points should be on or close to that line. Of course, if it's a positive correlation, the slope should be positive. That means the line should be going up. Negative correlation, the line should be going down because you should be in the center of where those points are located. No correlation. You cannot draw a line of best fit for a no correlation. Any questions? We're going to do line of best fit in the calculator. Bless you, baby. Bless you. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. We're going to find the line of best fit in the calculator. We're going to do linear regress to find line of best fit. Okay. All right, I'm clearing my calculator. 2nd plus 7, 1, 2. I'm clearing my calculator. 2nd plus 7, 1, 2. You okay? All right. Raise your hand if you're not ready so I'll know. Okay, I can pause real quick. Let me know when you're ready, babe. 2nd plus 7, 1, 2. Clear calc. All right, we're going to go to stat. We go to edit, press enter on edit, and we're going to type in our X values under L1. Go over and type in our Y values under L2. Okay. So now, after we type our numbers in, raise your hand if your numbers are not typed and you need more time. Okay, I'll pause, baby. Let me know when you're ready, okay? Samaj, you good? You good? Okay. All right, so now after I type them in, I go to stat, press the stat button. Then I press arrow over to calc, And I'm going to go down to lean reg. See right here where A is the slope and B is the y-intercept in the calculator? That's number 4. Okay, so now listen. I really want, when I'm using line of best fit, I might have to use my table. So this is where I need to type in second 1, comma, second 2, all of that stuff. Okay, so that's second 1, comma, second 2, comma, vars. Go over to y vars. And you're going to press enter how many times? 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now I don't have to write that down because it's under y equals. Do you see that? Any questions? So now I have my line of best fit. Okay, so now I'm just going to just abbreviate. Y is equal to 2.37x, and it's got a negative. You see right here, pay attention to this part. You see how it has plus, but then it says minus. You see it says negative. So here, this is going to be minus 9.17 and some change. Please make sure you pay attention to that part, okay? And some change. All right, so if the calculator, they want you to make a prediction. We're going to do that right here. Let me slide this over, y'all. Sorry. If you forgot how to make a prediction. If it's telling you that, let me see what these numbers. If it's telling you to find, if it's telling you to find the total amount when the x value is 10, find the total amount when x value is 10. If they give you an x value of 10 and they want you to find the y amount, then you can use the table to do that. You've already got this. So what do I press to get to the function table in the calculator? Y equals is where I type in the equation. Where do I go to look at the table value? Sorry. Second graph. Second graph, you can look at the table. Okay, so what's my y value going to be when x is equal to 10? 14.5. Very good. So the answer is going to be 14.5. If in fact, listen, if it's not calculator active, then they'll give you this and you just plug in 10 for x to find y. Okay? Any questions about making a prediction? All right. Correlation coefficient and causation. You probably forgot about causation. I need it definitely. Causation is easy though. All right, so here we go. EOC review 4. It's card 21. Correlation coefficient. And we're going to talk about causation. The letter that represents correlation coefficient, does anybody remember? Does anybody remember the letter? It's R. R is the letter that represents correlation coefficient. And you find this in the calculator. Correlation coefficient tells you how strong the correlation is. Tells you how strong the correlation is. Is it strong? Is it weak? Is it moderate? And we're going to draw the scale. You might remember after I say it. If not, that's okay. Just keep reviewing the card. That's why I'm going over it, because most of us forgot. Why are you looking at me like that, little boy? Let me stop messing with you. I know you can't see. All right, here we go. The closer, let's do a number line. I know it. We go from -1 to +1. -1 means that it's a strong negative correlation, but it's a perfect negative slope line. This is a perfect straight line here. Negative correlation. +1, I'll put a plus in front of it so you know it's positive. If your R is a +1, this is a perfect straight line, and it is a positive correlation. So your R is going to float between -1 and 1. It can't be outside of that. It's not ever going to be outside of that. And to find it, you just use a calculator. There's no formula for that. The closer that your R gets to 0, of course, that means it's no correlation at all. I mean, they just polar opposite. They don't have nothing to do with each other. You'll never probably see 0. I mean, good Lord. I don't think I've ever seen it to be 0. It would be 0.00 something or another. All right, so let's start on this end. If from -1 in between, if it's somewhere between these two numbers, a -0.75, this is strong right in here. This is a strong, between here and here is a strong negative correlation. This is strong negative between here. So if your R is a -0.8, -0.9, negative point somewhere in there, that's strong. Very, very strong. On the opposite side, if it's from positive 0.75 to 1, somewhere in here, this is a strong positive correlation. The middle, negative, I should put this up at the top, a -0.5. If it is between a -7.5 and a -0.5 right in here, this is moderate. This is moderate negative correlation. Same thing over here. This is a positive 0.5 from here to here, positive 0.5 in here. This is a positive moderate correlation. All of this in here is no correlation. Okay, this is weak to no correlation. If it's a weak, it's no correlation. This side is negative, this side is positive. Slide this down just a little bit. And pause for the calls. I see people writing. All right, so now we're going to do it in calculator, okay? So, anybody still writing? I'm sorry. 10, you got it? Okay. All right, so now, first thing, to find the correlation coefficient, you have to type those numbers in. So, look, we already have numbers typed in. Go to Stat, Edit. Those are the numbers that we typed in already, okay? Let's leave them there. We're just going to find the correlation coefficient of these numbers. We're going to see how strong the correlation is between these numbers. Any questions? So now we're going to, in order to do that, second mode, we already typed them in. Let's clear that out. So now what we do is we go to catalog. That's second zero. That's catalog. Second zero is catalog. Does anybody remember that? Nope. Now we go to diagnostic on. Still don't remember. Jesus, take the wheel.
Oh, wait.
So go to diagnostic on. It's two of them. Please make sure you choose the one that says diagnostic on. Press enter and press enter again. What should you see? Please make sure you see done. You still don't remember.
Okay. I do now. Okay.
All right. So now we're going to do the same steps we did before and do linear regress. That's how it's going to give us our R. So to do linear regress, press stat, go over to calc, then what do you go down to? Lean reg, press enter. And just press enter because we only want the R. Okay, do you see the R at the bottom? The R is going to be here. If the R is equal to 0.98. Okay, it's a positive 0.98. All right, so what can we say about this scatter plot? It's a strong positive correlation. Any questions? Is there anybody that's lost? Are you okay? Causation, let's do that on the back. That's easy, causation. Causation. If a scatter plot is causation, that means that one of those quantities affect the other. Yes, put it on the back of that one. Because I didn't have enough front to, it doesn't need to be on a card by itself because it's just, this is it. So I'm just putting it on the back of that card. Causation. If a scatter plot is causation, that means one variable causes the other variable to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, let's think of two. Trying to think something that causes the other thing to happen. Pause real quick.
Gas usage.
Yes.
What do you mean?
Like,
Just
how
look at
much
the
gas
teacher.
is required?
You leave him alone. He is trying. All right. So what about What about alcohol consumption? And I don't know. And what about, why are you laughing? That's true. And what? Drunk driving, accidents or something. DUIs. Thank you.
You get caught driving.
Okay. The number of DUIs. That's causation. It's causing the other to happen. Do you understand? I mean, you got it, didn't you? You laughing at my example, but you understand. No, hit this thing up here.
This thing.
Y'all know what I mean.
That grown man.
Well, whatever. You leave him alone. Residual. Ready? You still copying? Oh, I'm sorry. Tell me when you finish. All right, here we go. God, I feel that way. I'm telling you. I'm so bad. Yesterday, my chest was hurting. My sister got on me about that. She was like, "You gotta stop doing that." All right, here we go. EOC review 4. So you don't lose these cards. I mean, you don't lose the order. This is, I forgot what note card this was. 22. I don't care. I'm gonna use all 3 of those minutes. I just wanted to do that.
It's 5.
Number
5.
It's number 5. Oh, 4. Thank you. Residual. I'm looking at the board. I ain't got no reason to look at. Well, I mean, you're beautiful, but I'm looking at the board. Yeah, you do. You better shut up, Samaj. You better shut your mouth. Residual is going to be how far each number is away from. How far each number is going to be away from the predicted amount. Okay, so residual is how far. Oops, Miss Reyes. Oh God. I know. I'll start this one tomorrow. Start right there. Yes, please put your calculator up. Please study, 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 study. Shh. Read over your note cards if you don't want to go to your notebook. Read over your notebook if you don't want to go to your note cards. But you need to be reading. Did you watch the notebook? You.
That's surprising.
Oh.
I got bullied by your friend.
I need here.
I got bullied
No, he did not. No, he did not. He did not.
He said yesterday. Leave him alone.
I gotta get it. Maybe get a Miss Ray, are you still recording, by the way?
No, I'm not. Oh, yeah, I am. Press the stop.